The English journalist Hamish McRae published his book, The World in 2020, Power, Culture, and Prosperity in the mid-1990s. When I read it back then, I wondered how it would stand the test of time. Well, 2020 has arrived, if not in a blink of an eye, certainly a lot quicker than I would have expected. I recently went back to my bookshelf and pulled down my yellowing paperback copy of McRae's book. I decided to put his predictions to the test. My conclusion? Overall, McRae's book has stood the test of time remarkably well. In the book, McRae explored three broad themes. First, he identifies a massive shift toward the emerging world. In investment terms, think of emerging markets. In the 1990s, the developed world generated roughly 2/3 of global GDP. Fast forward to today, and that number has flipped. 2/3 of global GDP is coming from the emerging world, driven in large part by GDP growth in Asia. Second, McRae argues that technology will have a growing role in the information revolution. McRae predicted that anyone would be able to access public and private databases linked together. Anyone with a computer would have access to the same quality of information and research as entire research departments did before. And McRae made this prediction without once mentioning the word internet. Third, McRae is overall optimistic. Human beings live longer, are better educated, and can control their destinies far more than ever before. McRae thinks of it this way. If you had to choose a moment to be born knowing nothing about your circumstances, not knowing whether you'd be born black or white, rich or poor, man or woman, what moment in history would you choose? The answer is clear. The answer is now. McRae believes that no moment in history has been a better time to be alive than today. This is not naive optimism, nor does it ignore the enormous challenges we have ahead of us. It's just observing the world we live in. What's the lesson for investors? Investors get far too caught up in the day-to-day movements of the financial markets. A well-thought-out book like The World in 2020 highlights the importance of the opposite, that understanding the big picture is far more critical for investors than getting caught up in Mr. Market's daily mood swings.